On the latest episode of Real Time with Bill Maher, he gave his take on the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Take a look.
Politics in this country is binary. You have to wear everything anyone on your side does. Republicans are the party of don't wear masks, kids in cages, lock her up, and Democrats are the party of every hypersensitive social justice warrior, woke story in the news.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Get ready for a fiery political showdown as Bill Maher dissects the stark contrast between Republicans and Democrats. In today's polarized arena, sticking with your side means embracing every stance and catchphrase. On one side, you have Republicans, known for their no masks and lock her up rhetoric. On the other, Democrats are painted as the champions behind every overblown, emotionally charged social justice headline flooding the news. It almost feels like some individuals earn their spotlight simply because, in Donald Trump's words, they're a flawless 10. And honestly, I wouldn't mind a few of Whoopi's clever jabs aimed at me. She's no stranger to dropping absurdities, and sometimes the timing is just spot on. Now picture this. Just last week, Joy Behar found herself on the receiving end of Bill Maher's relentless roast, setting the internet abuzz. Maher's scathing takedown of Behar has been met with cheers from those who say it was high time someone gave her a reality check. So, what exactly did Behar say to set Maher off? And how did he dismantle her arguments so thoroughly that woke Twitter is now in an uproar? We've got every detail, every sizzling retort, and the kind of verbal blow-by-blow that's sure to make your snack time even more entertaining. Buckle up. This is one episode you won't want to miss.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
You've likely caught this clip before, so we'll spare you the full rundown. In short, Behar is launching a dig at Caroline Leavitt's intellect. After all, that's just how the outspoken crew on The View roll. According to Behar, Leavitt landed the role of Trump's new press secretary solely because she's a size 10, as if dress measurements are the ultimate indicator of qualifications in Joy's world. The irony isn't lost here. Behar herself has been known to dole out questionable opinions and absurd takes for years, all without anyone ever demanding her credentials. Even when co-host Alyssa pointedly reminded her of Leavitt's actual qualifications and experience, Behar chose to tune that out. Naturally, this set Bill Maher off, prompting his signature riposte.
Yeah, but isn't it interesting that it's called, I mean, I don't think they meant this when Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America.
But
there is one view,
right, and
one
that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can go sit in the corner.
You can't help but appreciate Bill Maher for his blunt honesty. He always calls it like he sees it. According to him, the issue with The View is right there in its title. It's not a platform for diverse opinions, but a singular perspective that insists its own voice is the only one that counts. Any other viewpoint is dismissed as irrelevant or downright absurd. And, as expected, Joy Behar is at the forefront of quashing any dissent that strays from the sanctioned narrative. Even within their own self-reinforcing bubble, Behar can't tolerate Alyssa Farah Griffin offering a differing take on Caroline Leavitt's appointment as press secretary, because in Joy's world, any disagreement isn't just mistaken, it's practically sacrilege.
Politics in this country is binary. You have to wear everything anyone on your side does. Republicans are the party of don't wear masks, kids in cages, lock her up, and Democrats are the party of every hypersensitive social justice warrior, woke story in the news. They're the party that disappears people or tries to make them apologize for ridiculous things.
Bill Maher isn't merely taking jabs at Joy Behar. He's unleashing a full-blown takedown on the entire Democratic Party, and frankly, he's hitting the mark. Had the Democrats been the ones to appoint Caroline Leavitt, you'd see Behar front and center, extolling Leavitt's brilliance, poise, and unmatched eloquence, probably delivering an over-the-top ode about how she represents America's future. But since Leavitt got the role under Trump, all that high praise vanishes, replaced by a fixation on her dress size. Because clearly, that's the depth of discourse we've come to expect from The View. And let's be honest, if anyone else reduced a woman's accomplishments to her appearance, Behar would be in an uproar, decrying and demanding a full apology tour. Yet when it comes to her own camp doing the same, she falls silent. Joy Behar's glaring double standard hasn't escaped notice. Bill Maher wasn't the only one to call it out. Greg Gutfeld has also weighed in on her performative antics.
Is she really a 10? We'll be
Don't
right
do
back.
it.
No,
Joy noticed Jesse was a 7.
Joy Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a rating system, but it's such a typical thing from a 1.5.
Check out this searing critique from Gutfeld. He's hit the nail on the head. Joy Behar has reduced Caroline Leavitt's success to nothing more than her looks, as if implying that no woman can truly advance on merit unless she's a Democrat. And let's be honest, if anyone had leveled the same comment against a woman on the left, Behar would have erupted, crying and demanding a cancellation. Now here's where it gets truly intriguing. The very same DEI advocates, who frankly seem to prioritize optics over genuine competence, turn a blind eye when their own side reduces a woman to her appearance. Meanwhile, Leavitt is out there at the White House, deftly handling press briefings and proving she knows her stuff. Instead of acknowledging her expertise, Behar opts for petty jabs. Perhaps it's just jealousy at work, as Gutfeld suggests. He even quips that Behar is 1.5 light-years away from a perfect score, which might just explain why she went after Leavitt in the first place.
Ever-empowering feminist, Joy herself, everyone. And this is why, of course, she's on The View and not working for the most powerful man in the world, because Caroline would wipe the floor with you bitter banshees any day.
This reporter has just confirmed our suspicion. Joy Behar is likely simmering with envy. While Caroline Leavitt is out there working for the world's most influential president, Behar is still shouting over chuckling co-hosts on a daytime talk show. In Behar's view, Leavitt is nothing more than a greenhorn who hasn't earned her spot at the top, because apparently experience only counts when it aligns with her political agenda. Yet what Behar conveniently overlooks is that it's not a matter of age. It's about intelligence, capability, and, dare we say, competence. Leavitt clearly possesses all three, and that's what really fuels Behar's ire. If Leavitt were a 25-year-old liberal, Behar would be celebrating her as a trailblazing icon for young women. Instead, because Leavitt dares to think for herself, she's reduced to nothing more than her looks. Perhaps Behar is just upset that her own resume wouldn't even land her a phone-answering gig at the White House, let alone a role leading a press briefing. And if you think we're making this up, just listen to Joy Behar herself. She's been calling people simply for not enjoying Kamala Harris's raucous laughter. Yes, you heard that right. Disliking the vice president's ear-splitting guffaws has somehow become a prime example of misogyny.
What really ticks me off about him, though, is this laughing Kamala remark. It's such a remark, because a guy I was with over the weekend, a friend of mine, they said Kamala's laugh annoys me. Remember they said that about Hillary's laugh, that she was cackling. And men, you know, they don't like a funny woman. We're afraid if you laugh or you make a joke, that maybe you'll do that when they're in bed with you. It's like this fear.
Well, don't be shocked. The View's ladies are known for their offbeat opinions, which have almost become their signature move. Sometimes you really have to wonder if they're just pulling these wild assertions straight out of thin air. I mean, how does Behar even arrive at the idea that disliking a woman's laugh automatically means you're afraid of women? Does that pass as any kind of logical argument? Or did she just string words together and hope no one would challenge her? It's no wonder Ben Shapiro saw right through the absurdity of her statements and called her out on it.
What now? So, if you don't like Kamala Harris's weird cackling, it's because you fear her in the boudoir?
Huh?
That's a theory there, Joy. I feel like, given her personal history, I mean, Willie Brown and all, that's probably not what people are thinking about Kamala Harris when they are thinking about that type of activity, but sure, go with that.
Ben Shapiro laid it out plainly. Disliking Kamala Harris's laugh isn't about some hidden or an irrational fear of women. It's simply that her laugh is, quite frankly, grating. Not every criticism is a sign of a grand conspiracy against women. Sometimes a laugh is just off-key and annoying. Shocking, perhaps. But of course, the so-called woke mob refuses to accept such a straightforward observation. Instead, they twist even the mildest critique into accusations of sexism, racism, or whichever ism fits their script. If you don't enthusiastically cheer every move of their chosen icons, you're instantly branded as a terrible person, Dislike a laugh. That makes you a misogynist. Question a policy? You're labeled a bigot. Even preferring your coffee black might have you tagged as a white supremacist. It's all part of the same absurd strategy, slapping on a politically correct label on every dissenting remark, no matter how trivial, to silence debate and further their agenda. After all, if they ever had to actually defend their ideas in a real discussion, that's when everything would start to unravel.
This idea that Trump won with some kind of mandate is not true. I mean, we have information there. He beat Kamala Harris by 1.6%. Joe Biden beat Trump by 4.5%, and nobody said it was a mandate. So get that out of your lips, out of your mouth. These people were saying it's a mandate. It's not a mandate.
Joy Behar, once again, is very confused. The reason that Trump is said to have a mandate here is not because he won the election by 1.6%. He didn't win the election by 1.6%. He won the election in a landslide. He got 312 electoral votes.
Michael Knowles is dismantling every one of her points. Every claim she's made is being exposed as flat-out wrong. It's astounding that she even attempted to stand by her remarks after such a decisive rebuttal. Let's see what he fires off next.
Electoral votes is what determines who wins the presidential election. He only needed 270 to win, and he got 312. Totally destroyed Kamala Harris. That number, the 1.6 or 1.8% that she's referencing, is the popular vote. Trump also won the popular vote. First time a Republican's done that in 20 years.
Huge.
Democrats have an advantage in the popular vote because Republicans generally don't campaign in the big Democrat states, New York and California, because the Democrats are going to win it anyway. It's a waste of campaign dollars and time.
Once again, Joy Behar is on full display, parading her lack of insight for everyone to see, while Michael Knowles methodically tears apart her misguided points. It's been nearly 3 months since Trump's election victory. Yet Behar and the Democrats remain mired in a perpetual state of denial, stuck in the early stages of grief without any sign of progress. Instead of facing reality, they'd rather rewrite the past, clinging to every conspiracy and outlandish claim imaginable, even resorting to far-fetched ideas like summoning Hillary's lost emails to undermine Trump's historic win. But every time they try to spin their narrative, they're swiftly steamrolled by sharp minds like Bill Maher and Michael Knowles, who effortlessly expose their hypocrisy. You'd think that after so many public missteps, they'd have learned a thing or two about self-awareness, but clearly, that's not a strong suit for The View.
This was Joy on The View on Friday.
What was your reaction? Well, my reaction was I was at Costco buying, 10 boxes of Keurig coffee, and my watch started to buzz, and I got so excited I started leaking a little bit.
Just when you didn't think you could be more upset, you have to picture Joy Behar's vagina.
At last, someone finally puts Joy in her place. It's downright repulsive that Behar ever considered that drivel worth airing. Now, let's check out what these ladies had to say next.
I'm sorry.
Leaking at a Costco.
I don't want it. I didn't want any of the events that happened late last week. What's going on? Why? There's such a thing as TMI. There really is. It was inappropriate. She's inappropriate. It was disgusting, and no one wants to be thinking about that. But on the larger point, that's how rabid they are. Mm-hmm. It literally caused her to pee her pants. She was so excited to see Donald Trump convicted, like a 3-year-old seeing Goofy at Disney for the first time.
Megyn Kelly just unleashed a scathing takedown of Joy Behar, and it's nothing short of brilliant. According to Kelly, Behar got so rattled by the news of Trump's conviction that she ended up having an accident at a Costco. Yes, you read that correctly. The self-styled intellectual powerhouse of The View apparently lost control in the frozen food aisle, much like an overexcited puppy. With her trademark razor-sharp wit, Kelly didn't let this moment pass unnoticed. She lambasted Behar for once again proving that Trump is living rent-free not only in her head, but apparently in her too. Let's be honest, if a conservative had admitted to such an embarrassing mishap, Behar would be laughing about it on air for weeks. Instead, when it happens to her, we're expected to treat it as some sort of defiant act of resistance. Give us a break. Maybe next time she should worry less about Trump and more about stocking up on adult diapers.
Okay, Joy is okay, but it was a scary moment at first when she missed her mark trying to sit down in her swiveling chair.
Clearly, Behar isn't winning any new fans. In fact, many would prefer she lost favor with the show's producers rather than taking another tumble off a chair. But, as it turns out, Joy Behar and The View are here to stay, no matter how many absurd things they say. Fortunately, Bill Maher and his fellow truth bombers refuse to back down. They're relentlessly exposing hypocrisy for all to see.